Morning, everyone. So hopefully you can hear us. If you can't, do let us know because we're sharing a microphone. So if it's not coming through loud and clear, do just shout or type in the chat box. Okay, so the webinar is recorded, just to let you know, and we can share it afterwards so that you can access what was said and what was going on in it. Hi Emma, thank you for your message in the chat box. If you guys haven't yet opened the chat box, there is when you move your mouse on the screen for Zoom, there's chat down the bottom, and you can add your messages in here, which we're going to need a bit later. Okay, so we are having trouble moving through the slides. There we go. So as you're all just checking in, these are the project leads for the 2019 Q Exchange. So you might know each other, but you might not, because we didn't have much time together at the event when a lot of you guys were there for the announcements. Hopefully you've all been looking at each other's pages and reading about the projects. Obviously the teams are much bigger than just the main contact, but these are the people who will be editing their pages and the main person to get in contact with for most of the exchange. So let's start by having a look at the contents. So we're going to do welcome and a check-in. We're going to talk about the Q Exchange 2019 program, the evaluation offer, which Emma's going to lead us on, action learning sets. Then we're going to have a Q&A and finish off with any of the business. So I want you to have a little experiment with Zoom and what we can do with Zoom calls. We use Zoom a lot in Q because we find it's really helpful for big meetings and for chats. So if you've ever dialed into one of our webinars, then you might have seen Zoom in all its action before. But we're going to have a go at annotation because we want to know where you're calling from. So if you put your cursor on the screen, you should be able to go to view options at the top, and there should be an annotate button. So here you can choose a pen or you can choose a stamp, and you can put yourself on the map. Oh, fab, some people are doing that already. We're going to try and put us down there in London. Oh, Karen, fantastic. You've like put your name in.
Hi, can I just say I'm on a conference call, so I can't do it. It's Andrea.
No. Where
Sorry,
are you in the world? And we can put you in.
I am presenting my project in Oxford today. So I'm not at a computer, and I'm going to have to leave the call early because I'm going in to join the meeting where I'm presenting. So I'm sitting in a coffee shop in a village hall.
No worries at all. So you're in a coffee shop in what part of the world?
Well, I'm in Sandford Village Hall in Oxford, which is where the Higher Education England, Health Education England team are meeting today, and I'm presenting our key project to them.
Fantastic, that's great to hear. Well, I put a little star on the screen so that we know you're there as well.
Yes, I am here. But apologies for that.
No problem at all. So we've got a pretty good spread around the country. Excellent, lovely. Okay, hi Ed and Leonie from You Can't Annotate, you're in Sheffield. I have to say, I'm not entirely sure where Sheffield is. It's somewhere in the middle, is Louise is telling me, and I will do a little star for you. Bristol, okay, Emma, so I'll put you in Bristol. I know where Bristol is. Fantastic. Oh, so, the next part, don't worry if you can't access the group chat, as if you're just on a call, you won't be able to. But hopefully most people can. We're going to have a think about, hang on, I'm going to clear the annotation first. And go on to the next one. So might need Zoe to do that. And then the next page. Super, yeah. Super. So some of you might have heard of liberating structures. We use them a lot in different Q events and meetups, and we really like them. There's one that we're going to do here. It's the merry-go-round. It's taken from the liberating structure Mad Tea. So I'm gonna ask you a question, and if you can't use the group chat for whatever reason, you can tell us over the phone. But for everyone who's got the group chat working, could you please put your answer to the question in the chat box so we can all see it? So it's 5 questions, and they're the starts of sentences, and we want you to finish the sentence. So the first one I've got here is, I'm currently watching or reading. I'll put it in the chat box so you can see. Love Island. Fantastic, Rita. Mr. Robot, The Crown, Taskmaster. Go there, Helen. If you can't type, do just let us know what you're watching. How to Fail. Ah, fantastic. Richard Rosso. Ah, brilliant. John Ronson, one of my favourite writers. Afterlife. Lots of reading going on. I'm very impressed, guys, for January. Well done. Design Theory, Barcelona Way. Oh, The Messiah. Brilliant. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to put in what they're reading and watching, and giving some inspiration to the rest of us to get reading and watching. Okay, so the next question is, this year I'm looking forward to. So what are you looking forward to this year?
Can I just say, Zoe here from the Q project team. I'm really looking forward to building my bike from scratch this year.
It's exciting.
About a quarter of the way in. I'm excited to build that and be able to tour the country.
Fantastic. Green Day Fall Out Boy. Fantastic. On holiday in a camper van. Lovely. Hey, your first marathon. Wow.
Wow. Also doing a marathon. We've got a couple of people doing marathons.
Lots of gigs going on as well. Lots of people. Oh, family in Oz. Lovely. Oh.
Hi, it's Louise from the Q team. We just spotted Rihanna decorating her first house. I'm also going to be doing that, so looking forward to doing that too.
Fantastic. Mel Andrews in Wales going skiing. I presume you're not skiing in Wales there, Mel? If there's a place to ski in Wales, I want to find that. Brilliant. Italy. Alpaca walking.
What is alpaca walking?
Yeah, what's alpaca walking? Oh, getting married. Congratulations, Bethan. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I'm not going to pronounce that Welsh word. It's very tricky. Brilliant. Okay. I think everyone's said what they're looking forward to. Lots of exciting things coming up. Okay, so the next question is, one place I'd love to visit this year is, moving on to holiday destinations. Oh, Lake Garda, Cuba, nice. Lapland, Canada, Tuscany. Annecy, Thailand, Marseille, a couple of French ones, lovely. Greece, Cornwall, oh nice. Isle of Mull. Oh, nice. Yeah, Scotland's beautiful. South Africa, fantastic. For me, I'm hoping to get out to Australia this year. Visit my family over there. Brilliant. So moving away from holidays, real or imagined, thinking about work a little bit more now. This can be more broadly your QI work, or it could be more about your Q Exchange project. And the question is, what first inspired me in this work was... So a bit of a tricky one to pin it down to one thing, perhaps.
And Beth, if people wanted to, they can unmute their mic.
Yeah, you can unmute your mics and tell us if it's easier to explain it rather than type it. Do join in.
I'll throw mine in, and it's frustration. It's Andrea. So frustration.
Frustration. Yeah. Our potential to make a difference. Lots of people making a difference. Yeah. The people. Yep. Amazing place, amazing people. Oh, great stuff, Jem. Practitioners. Lovely. Oh, I like that, Rachel. Hate something, change something. Yeah.
A lot about people wanting to make a difference, isn't it? Which
Absolutely.
I think is
really essential to all the work, I think. Cooperation, yeah. Very difficult to get cooperation right and the right level. Fantastic. Well, quite a variety of ideas there, but quite a bit of a common theme running through. And this is the last sentence for everyone to finish. And again, do unmute yourself if you would like to. A question that is emerging for me is... yeah, that's an interesting one, Dave. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you'll find some time, Jem. Yeah, stopping people from going hell for leather for something. Oh, great question, Rihanna. Yes.
Yeah, I think these are definitely questions that people, other people really share, and it's not just for Q Exchange. It's linked to so many different work that you do. It's but really valid.
Oh, thank you, Helen. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be getting some questions about that later.
Yes.
About how to support that evaluation. Yeah.
Yes, it's nice to see we've got some of the Q Evaluation SIG mentors on the call as well. So welcome to you all. Creating the conditions for improvement. I think one of the things as well is how do we, we've got this big, really large community of improvers, and it's utilizing all the expertise, the passion, the skills, and making the most of that and supporting each other through this. You are all the experts in this, and our role is to be able to help facilitate and encourage you all to make the most of that. So we're talking a bit about that more in a bit.
Okay, well, hopefully everyone has at least put a little something into the group chat or said something on the call. Do feel free to unmute yourselves and ask questions throughout. And as you can see, Zoom is a really great platform to use if you're wanting to engage with the community. As I said earlier, we do use it a lot because we find it's just quite straightforward for most people to use. Although not always, because sometimes those NHS firewalls do stop it working. But yeah, I'm going to hand over to Zoe now, who's going to chat through a little bit more about Exchange.
Lovely. Thanks, Beth. And once again, hello and welcome to you all for our first kickoff event for Q Exchange 2019. It's really great to be here and be able to kind of connect with you all. My hope is that over the next hour, we have a chance to get to know each other a bit more. Obviously, with the limitations of doing it virtually, It's really hard we don't get that same face-to-face experience, but at the same time recognizing that, you know, we're all spread across the UK, and actually instead of doing this one day face-to-face event, we thought it would be useful to do it over Zoom. So we do hope that you can get the most out of today, and you know, we'll always be here to help you and answer questions that you may have. I'm going to spend the next kind of hour, 10 minutes or so talking about the program and what to expect. But if you do have any questions, as Beth said, do pop them into the chat room, and we'll have time for a proper kind of Q&A discussion at the end of this call, so you can actually unmute and ask questions as well. So hopefully, yeah, we can get through that in the next hour. But to start off with, I just wanted to say really just a massive congratulations on being one of the 20 Q Exchange 2019 winning projects voted by the community. This is the second time we run this, and it's really exciting to be able to run this again and actually open up voting to the whole of the UK. We had some really great engagement and participation from all across the UK, but I'm really pleased for everyone, and well done for getting to the stage of winning. Hopefully you already know what Q Exchange is, seeing that you've been through the process and have been successfully awarded. But just in case you aren't familiar, Q Exchange is Q's funding program, which is jointly funded by the Health Foundation and NHS Improvement and NHS England. And each year it offers Q members the chance to apply for funding for their improvement ideas in very much a collaborative environment. So as I said, I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes or so giving an overview of what to expect during the program, what are some of the requirements and expectations as an award holder. A lot of this content is covered in the welcome pack, which we shared with everyone before Christmas, and hopefully you would have received. But if you haven't received one, you can just email us at qexchange@health.org.uk. We'll share the contact details throughout this, the presentation as well. So yeah, do engage, use the chat room as I'm going through the next few slides. But firstly, just a very quick introduction from the team here. So my name is Zoe. I'm the project lead for Q Exchange, and I'm responsible for the overall program management of it, the knowledge capture, the impact that we can make, and also link to the wider Q network. You've met Beth, but I'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Beth. You probably sick of the emails from me about your award agreements and following up with all those bits and bobs. But I man the Q Exchange inbox. So if you have any questions, please do contact me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Hi, I'm Louise. I'm the Marketing Communications Manager for Q, and I work in the comms team. So I'm the one that sends all the shiny emails to everyone and does all the social media and all that kind of stuff. And my role is just to support Q Exchange and make sure that everyone also knows about the award and what they're doing.
Cool. And we're also going to later hear from Emma Gibbard, who's a Q member as well, and she'll tell you more about the evaluation offer that we have for Q Exchange. We're really looking forward to working with you all over the next year. So our primary role is to really help you connect to the wider work of Q, the Health Foundation, and links to any projects and resources. And we also provide you a platform and support you to share your project updates, learning through various communication channels, which Louise will tell you more about in a bit. You can contact us at any time if you have any questions. The best way is to email the Q Exchange inbox, which is written on the slide, qexchange@health.org.uk, and it's also in your welcome pack. You know, if you have any questions, any issues relating to your project or kind of changes to staffing, deliverables, etc., do just get in touch and we can chat through. Also, if you are doing any communication updates, say you're presenting at a conference or you want us to help promote or celebrate success, again, just get in touch and we can help boost and promote all the work that you're doing as well. So yeah, do get in touch throughout the year, and yeah, if you have any questions, just let us know as well. So just a bit about the award conditions. This is there are a number of expectations that you're required to meet as a award holder, and these are also set out in your award agreements, which is probably most of you probably haven't read and you sort of skim through and have signed, but I think it's just important to iterate some of the key points. The first thing is that we expect you to be able to start your project within 3 months of being announced as a winner. So that would be by the 13th of February. And what this means is that hopefully you've got your project team kind of set up, you're able to kind of get cracking with implementation of your projects. The second thing is that we expect you to engage with the Q community and the Q Exchange activities by keeping your projects pages up to date, you know, writing blogs and sharing your learning throughout the year. I mean, the one thing is that there is this big community out there who can also equally help support you and give you feedback. So again, you'll find out more about that through Louise, but it is important to be able to share your learning, not just to us, but actually to the wider community, who many of whom voted for your projects. And then finally, the award itself, the funding itself is valid for 1 year. That doesn't mean that you have to complete your project within a year. You can finish, it could be 2 years, 3 years, that's absolutely fine. It's just that the actual award amount will be released within over a year time frame. You'll also be required to submit a high-level report on completion of your project, either at the end of the year or at the end of your project, whichever comes first. And also a financial statement, a report of your budget to explain how you spent your money according to your original budget. The Health Foundation really needs to, we also need to ensure that there is a record of the work and the funding's been used as agreed. So in line with our kind of corporate and financial governance requirements. But essentially the reporting itself is, has really 2 key purposes. One is to be able to share your learning with the Q community, so your experience of the project, you know, what you've learned, things that might have gone well, things that might not have gone well, but all of that useful transferable learning that you think would be relevant to other members of the community, irrespective of what that project might be about. And also to be able to understand the overall impact that Q Exchange has as a program. That's really important for us, and thinking about how can we continue to foster collaboration, encourage others who are interested in applying in future rounds. So we want to make the reporting process as useful to you and the community, but we really encourage you to use it as a tool for honest reflection, supportive challenge, and ensuring that you are able to keep on track and planning of next steps as well. So at a minimum, you will be required to post an update on your online project page halfway through the year, and then another one at the end of the year. But obviously, you know, you can do it as many times as you like throughout the year. Just to go over some key dates, again, these are highlighted in your welcome pack, but just to mention a few. So hopefully most of you have sent us your award agreements, which is fantastic. This allows us to then be able to release your first payment, which is very important. Over the next kind of month or so, Emma will also be assigning evaluation mentors to those that have signed up to this scheme. Again, she'll tell you more about this in a bit. Your first mid-year update will be due at the end of May. And essentially this is you posting an update on your individual project pages. There's a function that allows you to do this. But that being said, you know, you can post as many updates as you like, but we expect at minimum that you have done at least one update in the middle of the year by the end of May. And again, that doesn't mean that you've done everything and everything's going well. It might be an opportunity for you to raise some challenge, some questions to the community as well, and a chance for you to get some support as well. Throughout the summer and the autumn, we'd encourage you to, you know, share updates and learning. There will be opportunities, perhaps, for you to present at events. We've got we have an annual Q community event around kind of October, November, autumn times. That might be an opportunity for you to share your learning there or your project. And also perhaps maybe some publications you might want to do. So again, do think about how you want to disseminate and share your updates. The Q also has, the Q website has the functionality to write blogs and share that with the community as well. And then finally, as I mentioned, in December, we will be expecting a final award report. This is slightly, so this is a bit more formal in that we would expect you to provide us some sort of narrative, or whether that's, you can do that through, it doesn't need to be like a Word document, and we've had people submit using kind of infographics and stuff, but essentially some sort of end of award report that allows you to reflect on all the work that you've done, an update on your financial statements, and then also posting again an update to the Q community using the update function on the project pages. We'll be able to share more information about this at a later stage, or the guidance, and provide you with any templates that might be helpful. So I'm now going to hand things over to Louise, who will be able to talk you through sort of how you make the most of Q and how you can communicate your work to the Q community.
Okay, so I've split this into two sections. The first one is about communicating about your work through Q. So this is very much about how you talk to the community and use the community to make the best out of your award. So the first thing and the most important thing is your project page. So you can update your project page. I think anyone who has access to edit the project page on the website, you can post at the bottom, there's a little section which says post a new project update, and you can use that to share your learnings and any impact and things that are happening with your project. I think this is like one of the most important parts of your like explaining your project to the community and keeping them updated, because it means that you can put new learnings and things on that page. Other ways of sharing your learning with the community would be through the blog channel. So we have lots of guides, and there's a link in the welcome pack to how to write a blog. We have a guide on how to write a blog for the community. This would be more looking at how your learning from your project can be transferred and used for the by people in the community. Then there's the online group spaces. There's quite a wide range of online group spaces. So these would be either online groups or the special interest groups. And you can connect with members through the group spaces for each of the, well, there are lots of different themes, but there's also the themes for the Q Exchange as well. So you've got the outpatient service redesign group and the improving capabilities across boundaries group space. And we'd really encourage you to connect with each other through those group spaces and share ideas and learning on those spaces. But because those groups are open to other people, they're also, you've got the resource of the rest of the community available to you as well through that. So you might be able to post, if you're having particular challenges with your award, you can use the community and tap into that resource that's available through the group spaces on the website. And we'd really encourage you to do that. And then the final thing through Q is the randomized coffee trials. So these are the monthly connections that we facilitate with different Q members across the network. And you can use these to discuss your project as well. So if you are having an RCT, you can bounce ideas off, potentially use them to bounce ideas off whoever you're speaking to, and you might get some new insight and ideas from them if you're having any particular challenges. And then we'll look at communicating about your award externally. So this is to the wider world as well as to the rest of the community. But so the first thing would be social media. We'd encourage you to tag Q Exchange and at the Q community on Twitter if you're talking about your award and Q Exchange on social media. This will enable us as a team to also promote that through the Q channel as well. So it'll just alert us to anything that you're putting out there about the award, which is really helpful for us. But also, if anyone's following the Q Exchange hashtag, then they can see updates through that as well. We also provided in the welcome pack a template press release. So you can use this, it's got some key messages in there to help you talk about Q Exchange, and there's a little bit where you can just drop in to talk about your award and send that to any local press that you might want to do about the different stages in your award, that you've got the award, or potentially at the end when you want to be communicating about the learnings from your award. So we're trying to make that as easy as possible for you. Then there's, as Zoe mentioned before, there are events and conferences through Q that you might be able to use to talk about your award and your project. But there are also other external events. So if you're going to any events externally, then do tell us about that, because we can help to promote those as well through Q. But also events are a really good way of sharing the learning from your awards. So I would start looking for some places where you can share that learning if you're keen to do that. And then finally, there's an element where when you're talking about your awards, we would really like it if you could acknowledge Q, the Health Foundation and NHS Improvement and England, because as the funders, in the welcome pack, there's some messaging around how to do that and what to say about us as an organisation and about NHS England and NHS Improvement. And I think that's probably it. Oh, there's also just, there's an image on the slide, using communications approaches to spread improvement. That's one of the Health Foundation's quick guides. And there are lots of tips and tricks in there on how to communicate your improvement awards. And there's also a toolkit which is linked through the welcome pack. And you should be able to, which should give you more information about how to do that. So that's an online toolkit as well about communicating about your improvement project. Kind of it from me, I think.
Cool. Super. We can see the questions coming, which is really great. There's some questions about budget, some timeline changings, and about being involved in the event. I guess, Louise, do you want to just pick up the question about how you might get involved in the events?
Yeah. So the events with Q, when we get to planning, we haven't actually started planning the main Q event yet this year. But when we get to that, we'll be getting in touch with different people to invite them to either speak or potentially have an exhibition space, depending on how the event and the structure of the event and how that's going to unfold. So there will be opportunities. So if you can let us know if you are keen to be involved in that, and we can bear that in mind while we're planning the event and try and let you know as soon as possible when those opportunities are going to come up. I see there's also, that's in there about the RCTs, yeah.
Mary Kate's asked about where to find that information, and it's all in your award agreement. It's on the last page of your award agreement. So I can always reshare that with anyone who's carefully filed theirs in a very safe place. I think it's in the welcome pack, so I know it's definitely in the award agreement. The exact wording to use.
About how to talk about us. Yes. On page 12 of the welcome pack, there is a section on branding and acknowledging the funders in your communication. So there is some wording in there which you can just drop into whatever you're doing. So you'll need to put in your project name, but there is some specific wording in the welcome pack for you to be able to use to talk about it.
Cool. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm now going to hand things over to Emma Gibbard to talk to you about the Evaluation SIG mentoring scheme that we have on offer for everyone. So I'm going to hand things over to Emma, if you're happy to take over the mic.
Yeah, hi. I hope everyone can hear me. Can you hear me okay there?
Yeah, that's great.
Brilliant. Hi, so yeah, I'm Emma. I'm the Evaluation Specialist Interest Group convener for the Q community. And we've been working with the Q community to develop an offer for the Q Exchange teams. And actually, I'm delighted that a number of the Evaluation SIG members who were instrumental in developing this offer are on the call today. So Helen Sears, Helen Crisp, Karen Ritchie and Steve Aris. So you can all say hello. So I wanted to just start with where this, thanks for saying hi, where this originated from. So this actually came from previous discussions a couple of years ago with the then Q Community Evaluation Manager. And she was really receiving a number of requests for support with evaluation. And so we explored the idea of how we could harness the members of the Evaluation Special Interest Group in terms of their knowledge and experience, but also reflecting the ethos of the Q community in terms of learning and sharing together. And we discussed previous models that we'd been part of in terms of peer support, mentoring and coaching, and the more sort of embedded approach where the evaluator becomes part of the project team and works with the team and bringing those specific insights. So very much the ethos of the Q Exchange projects. And so we thought, and actually reflecting Zoe's comments just now around actually the Q Exchange team really want to understand what impact these projects have had, but also this is an opportunity for sharing and learning about your experience, and evaluation can help you to do that in terms of what worked, what didn't, what could have been improved, but also what difference your projects made. So our support will run very much alongside the Q Exchange timeline, so will be for 12 months. Essentially, we can offer you up to about 5 days of support, but this will be after an initial phone call. Now, what does this support look like? This really very much depends on the needs of your project. So what we will do is an initial phone call over the next couple of weeks. So those of you who have already signed up have hopefully been made contact by a member of the team to talk to you about your project, understand what the aim is, what the purpose is, and basically what you'd like from us as a team and how we can help you. And that's really key, because every project that has been successful is very different at looking at different things at different stages. And that will really give us an idea of the kinds of support we can provide. So last year we did a very small pilot, and we very much tailored it. So we can attend your project team meetings, we can attend up to 2 face-to-face meetings, but we can also dial in and utilise Zoom to join virtual meetings or virtual catch-ups, because I recognise these projects are spread across the country. We can also help run specific evaluation events if that's appropriate for you and your project. We found that some of our projects needed very much sort of upfront support to start to develop an evaluation plan within the project. Others actually need support around specific elements, so whether that was help with data analysis or identifying specific tools. It basically to reflect the needs of your project. So we are going to be as flexible as possible. The idea is that you would then be given a lead person as your lead contact. We will try and make that as much as possible with the project needs, with the evaluation SIG members that have come forward to support. But they in turn will then utilise the evaluation special interest group and other special interest groups to seek support. And so we will also look at other resources. So I think Louise flagged up the communication resources. So you have the Health Foundation's What is Evaluation tool, and there's a few toolkits that are quite useful that we can share with you as well. So lots of opportunities and lots of flexibility, but essentially it's about having a conversation, sharing ideas and helping each other to move forward. Is there anything I've missed, Karen, Helen, Steve? Anything else that I should talk about?
Hello, no, I don't. It's Helen Crisp here.
Hi, Helen.
So that sounded really comprehensive. I mean, just to reiterate that it's to be really flexible, responding very much. We're not coming in with a particular agenda, but it will be very much up to the project teams to think about how they can best use that input, I guess. Yeah.
And actually, Helen, you just reminded me, we will also look for where there's common themes and try and run webinars to support all the Q Exchange projects and beyond. And the reason Helen's reminded me of that is that Helen last year ran a webinar on communicating your evaluation and your quality improvement projects, which was really useful. So where we can find joint opportunities for webinars, we'll also utilise mechanisms like that to kind of share learning and have discussions around that. So there's a couple of questions that have come through. Steve's got in touch with Lisa. So the other one is the opt-in date. It's not too late to opt in. If you're still interested, please do let us know. Firstly, thank you very much for everyone who has signed up. We've got about 12 projects signed up so far, which is fantastic. I had my first call yesterday, which was brilliant, and hopefully we'll have another couple over the next, I've got another couple booked in over the next couple of weeks. But so it's not too late. If you're interested, I can always get back to you. Nicola, brilliant. I will be in touch. So what we will do is we've got the core team that set up the scheme, and I must say actually a big thank you to Zoe and Beth for that as well. But we are bringing in a wider number of evaluators once we know more about each of the projects and what the needs are, to make sure that we can offer the best support we can. The other thing I've just remembered, I must say, is this isn't about doing the evaluation of your project. That's not the time that we have. We couldn't do that. It's very much about being part of the team to help sort of bring that along and help you share your learning and the difference that you've made. Is that okay? Any questions? Any other questions?
Hi, it's just Helen here. So just to add to what Emma said, if that's all right. Just to say, I've just finished the previous year's Q work, and it's been really rewarding for me. I helped support an evaluation for a social prescribing service, and I've just finished it, and it was fantastic to be part of that team. So I hope to do it again this time. Thank you.
Brilliant, Helen. Actually, maybe that could be one of our first webinars, is looking at that project. Sorry, not to put you on the spot, but maybe sharing the learning from that project.
Yeah, absolutely. There was quite a lot of learning to share. I think what we need to think about is your projects are already off the ground and you've already established them. And I think we need to work out how we integrate the evaluation advice at this point in time, you know, because it's going to be February soon, into how you're moving forwards with the projects. Because that's the key learning I had. It's the timing of when we give this advice. So I think we need to look at that. Yeah,
definitely. Mary, you've raised a question. I'm not quite sure I understand the question. I'm really sorry. Is it about how this is separate to the Q Exchange support that's already on offer through the Q team? Or is it, this is specifically, so the question is, is around trying to explain the difference of the offer. I think what we're trying to say is we have 5 days, and we can use those in any way that is suitable for your project, and every project will be different. So some of our projects last time required an upfront face-to-face meeting where we really helped to plan the evaluation, and then the project team themselves delivered that evaluation, but with some support from that lead mentor. Others did more around, the need was more around support around the sort of the measures, the patient reported outcome measures, for example, that they were using. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is we will try and provide the support that you need. I hope that answers your question. I think the key offer is sort of 5 days of support. So some of that will be, okay, brilliant.
From my experience, Emma, from last year. So I think one of the key pieces of work was quite early on, developing an evaluation framework that would work for the purposes of the particular project with the data that they had available to them. And so getting that framework together was quite an important initial piece of work. But then it's the rest of the work with the project I was involved with was very much down to what can I specifically offer them in practically. So with the Hextime project, I ended up doing some analysis of their web analytics, because that was something that they would have benefited from and they'll had experience of. So so just echoing what you're saying, it's all very, very specific to the needs of the project, and just there to help in whatever ways we can.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Steve. And just so I think it was some confusion around. I suppose the other confusion was around what I said around we're not offering to evaluate the project. So this is very much about us becoming part of the team, not doing an independent evaluation of the projects that are happening. I hope that clarifies it, Mary. Are there any other questions and comments? Brilliant. So I think Beth sent round a link to you all to let you know how you can sign up if you're interested in exploring this further. Again, once we have the phone call with you to discuss your project, that will possibly become clearer about what we can offer you. It's because we want to try and be as flexible as possible to meet your needs. It possibly does feel a little bit vague, but essentially, hopefully from those initial phone calls, it will become clearer as well. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting us to be part of this. And it's a great opportunity for the Evaluation Special Interest Group, because I think there's something about enabling the group to work together as well and learn together and make that kind of contribution. So it's definitely been of benefit to the SIG as well. And I think Steve and Helen both shared their benefits that they've got from being part of this programme. So that's brilliant too. So thank you.
Thanks, Emma. That's really helpful. And thanks to everyone who's been part of this. I think that sounds like a really great idea, being able to host some webinars as well. Yeah, and also just a really huge thank you to your support as well. Cool. I'm going to just finally talk about our other offer, which are action learning sets. It's something that we're trialing this year for Q Exchange teams and setting up action learning sets. Hopefully this is something that would be of interest to you all. Again, it'll be an optional offer. But I suppose over the course of the year, you will be implementing your Q Exchange project alongside 19 other award holders who are essentially your peers. And we'd really like to be able to support you to draw upon each other's strengths, and so that the learning across the team develops as the program progresses. So what we've decided is we'll be setting up optional action learning sets to facilitate opportunities to learn and support each other as peers through this Q Exchange journey. Just a quick bit about action learning sets and what they are. So they are a structured method to explore real problems, challenges, and learning in small groups in a small and safe and supportive environment. And the aim is to support people and organizations really by creating this group setting, creating that great group setting to encourage personal growth, but also effective problem solving. It works really well when participants are committed to regular times to take part, and it enables you to build trust and work in a culture that is where you're collectively supporting each other through peer learning. So what we're proposing to do, oh, sorry, I meant to move the slide. Sorry. What we're proposing to do is to, if you're interested, is to set you up into groups of 3 or 4 teams, depending on the number, and arrange 3 sessions throughout the year through Zoom, with about 2 members from each team taking part in those conversations. So you can, if you imagine there'll be 4 groups, 2 people from each, that will be up to 8 people. And basically enabling everyone to build trust, work together to problem solve and kind of work through different challenges together rather than kind of on your own. And it will have a key member from the Q team to facilitate the action learning sets over that length of the program, to encourage also the kind of active listening, questioning, challenge, and support that you'd expect from an action learning set. You'll stay in the same group throughout the year as well, and that allows you to really connect and share challenges to the wider group, who are able to work through problems in a very supportive but challenging, questioning way. As well as reflecting on the issue, you also develop plans of action. So people are encouraged to report back to the group, that same group, on how you're progressing and making sure, kind of holding everyone to account that those actions have been taking place between those meetings. So if you are interested, again, it's completely optional. Just let us know by emailing Q Exchange. There is time involved in this to be able to commit to 3 Zoom calls over the course of the year. So this might not be for everyone, but if you are interested, do let us know. And what we will do is we will set you up in a group with other Q Exchange teams. We'll try and coordinate diaries so that we can schedule 3 calls, up to 3 calls throughout the year. And that will be done through Zoom, which you're currently using, and have a facilitator as well to support you through that. So it will be different from the support that you'll get from the evaluation offer, because that is a bit more tailored one, kind of bespoke support. Whereas this could be anything. This could be really about any kind of problem you might be going through, and it's all about sharing kind of your experiences and kind of coaching each other through that and be able to problem solve effectively. And so yeah, so we are going to trial that this year. So do let us know if you're interested. And I think we've had 4 or 5 teams signed up already, which is great. So we'll be in touch hopefully next week to be able to formally introduce you to those groups and to schedule those meetings in. So finally, just to kind of sum up everything, we've obviously given you a lot of information about the program and what to expect. We've talked about what are some of the tools and offers that you have access to as an award holder. But also, I think what's really important is recognizing this group and how you would like to work with each other as well going forward. So I guess I'd like to really hand things over to you and just to find out, how would you like to work together over the next 12 months? What support might you need from each other, or what could you give to other teams? It might be about, ways of working in terms of how do we keep each other informed, how do we might use the group spaces and stuff. So yeah, over to you. Feel free to post any questions or to unmute your mic and just have a discussion. This is to anyone, and it's, yeah, just an open conversation, really. And we can use this opportunity as well to ask questions.
So questions come through about Zoom. We have a group's Zoom account, which is which Matthew Meze, who some of you might know through groups, he looks after. And that would be available for you guys to use. Obviously, you have to consider other groups who might be using it at the same time and avoid clashes and things, but we can share those. I just need to check with him that that's going to work fine. Zoom is actually free. You can just use it for up to 45 minutes. If you're having like regular calls, and you only need it for that amount of time, you can actually just set up your own Zoom account. If anyone is stuck on that, then let me know and I can give you some help with that. If you're having just a couple of calls here and there, and if you're doing it one-to-one, Pete's saying it doesn't apply, so that's great. So yes, if you're having like bigger meetings, then you can talk to us about using the Q account. But obviously there are other Q meetings going on, so if it has a clash, that could cause problems. But yeah, happy to chat through if you have Zoom questions. I don't know everything about Zoom, absolutely, because I'm learning from Pete here. But yeah,
I do know that Matthew's working on a guide for Zoom as well, so
yeah.
There will be further details about using Zoom with the Q account. They're on their way.
Yeah.
Cool. Emma, you've posted here, I think it'd be useful to have regular catch-ups across the teams to share learning and progress. could this be done quarterly or at key milestones? For the Q Exchange team, I think it's a really interesting suggestion, and I guess to be really open and honest about what we did last year and what worked and what didn't work. Last year we actually had scheduled three webinars or kind of Zoom calls with everyone. So all kind of similar formats today, and an opportunity to talk about how things are going, and really kind of develop that agenda, not rather than us creating that agenda, trying to get input from the teams themselves as well, because we really feel that it's important to be able to feel like you kind of own this work as well. It proved to be quite tricky, and actually engagement was relatively low. So hence why this year we haven't committed to any kind of regular webinars and stuff. But I'm very open to what would be useful for this group. I guess the reason why we've done this action learning set, or suggested doing action learning sets actually, is that perhaps it might be more meaningful to be able to have those discussions in a smaller group, where you are actually meeting with the same people on a somewhat regular basis to talk through things. It's a bit hard to do this with 50 people in a chat in a room through Zoom. But I'm very keen to to hear more about what you would find helpful, because obviously we can do what we can to be able to set up calls and whatnot. But I think it's really up to what you would find most helpful. So yeah. Had some interesting discussions about joining up with other related Q Exchange. Is there anything else? Is there anyone else thinking about this? Sounds like there's some, there is some definite interest in joining up with other related Q Exchange projects. And there's kind of a question about how we'll be assigning the action learning sets. So far, just due to the fact that we've only had about 4 or 5 teams sign up, that would be considered one group. If there is interest, what we could do is to assign them according to a bit more in relation to the type of projects that you might be working on. I guess it's important to say that action learning sets don't actually have to be for a particular sector. You can be working, it's quite nice to have diverse opinions and experiences in a room. But again, if there is enough interest and we are able to do a bit more, we can be a bit more selective about how we group those action learning set groups. Very happy to do that if that is something you'd like to do. But yeah, feel free to unmute as well if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions you'd like to pose to the rest of the group. Don't be shy. We're all waiting with bated breath for your question. I guess, oh, I've got them. If we can sign up, I'm wondering if we can sign up to receive notifications of project updates from other projects.
As far as I know, there's no functionality on the website that enables us to do that at the moment. If that's, I mean, we could potentially look into doing that, but I don't know what the technical wizardry is behind that. Yeah, it's a kind of question for future development of the website, whether there'll be updates and notifications on automated things. At the moment, no. But
what we'll do is we'll take that back to our the team that helps the web team. The web team. However, just to say that so there is the update function on your project page, but there's also a comments section underneath that. And actually, what you can do is, if you have a question, say you want to ask another team a question about what they're doing, or you might need some just generally to the rest of the community, you can post those questions in the comments section, and those comments get picked up under what's called recent activity on the website. I'm not 100% sure how you then, I don't think you can then tailor that specifically to Q Exchange, but you can quickly see if there's been any recent activity as a whole. So maybe what we'll do is we'll take that away, we'll double check with our team and then follow up with some more information about that. And we can also then share the slides as well.
Yeah.
Question about what was?
So I was also going to just say that you can post in the groups. There were the 2 groups that were set up at the beginning of the exchange when it was launched, and there were the outpatients group and the across boundaries group. There's lots of people who are still part of those groups who aren't actually in Q Exchange groups, and I'm sure that they would love to hear updates and be asked questions so that they could get involved. I think keeping those groups active would be quite a good way to do it, rather than setting up new ones, perhaps, so that you can tap into the whole of the community and really get their feedback on what you're doing.
Yeah. Another important way or useful way you can stay connected outside of the ALS structure is that on each of the project pages, you will have your profiles linked to it. And again, you can also connect with other members directly through the website. And that's really important as well. If you actually have a specific question for someone that you'd like to do more privately.
Yeah, there's a directory of members on the website, so you can actually just send private messages to any member through the website if you want to. But you have to be logged in to do that. The question from Jem about what platform is best to communicate with. I think from our perspective, the Q Exchange or your project page should be the kind of go-to place to communicate about your project. So using the project update features and connecting with people through the comments at the bottom of the page is probably, from our perspective, is the best way of talking about your project to the community.
So with HexiTime, so HexiTime is, just for those who don't know, it was a project that was funded through the Q Exchange program in 2018. So it was in the first year. And what they've done is set up a platform that enables you to basically exchange your time. So you can give an hour of your time supporting someone, and in exchange you get like a credit back. And you can basically, it's like a voluntary sort of free way of learning, being able to share and give your time to be able to kind of support each other. HexiTime operates independently from Q. So, and the other thing is HexiTime has a different audience. So they've got some Q members, but they also have a lot of non-Q members. So I guess the important thing to iterate here is we would absolutely, recommend you using HexiTime if that's good for you. But in terms of reaching the wider Q audience, the Q website, your project pages would probably be the best way to be able to kind of communicate with everyone.
The project updates, they are as public as the rest of your project. So all the project update function on the project pages will update much like you've got the sections of the original web page. So if anything, whatever is public on that page, the project update will also be the same. So it works like a kind of extra section in your project page itself. And then the comments section is different. So the comments are more about you talking to people who've made suggestions and comments on your page. The actual project update feature works and it looks a little bit more formal rather than, Joe Blogs has posted a project update. It's it looks like it's part of the official update of the project on that page, if that helps.
The other ways, obviously, as Louise mentioned, is we're also very active on Twitter. So if you are big on social media, you can use that. If you need help with being able to reach to a wider audience, again, just get in touch and we can help you, whether that's through the retweeting, or we can also think of other ways to be able to share your work more meaningfully with the wider community. We're always interested to find out about what people are doing when they're presenting. Last year, we had a Q Exchange team up in Scotland who ended up presenting as the keynote speaker for, I believe, ISHQA, and they, which was fantastic, and to be able to talk about the impact that Q Exchange funding has had to roll out this fantastic virtual consultation program called NHS Near Me. It was really great, and we're obviously interested to be able to help promote that as well, and help with the sign-ups.
Yeah, we're really keen to help promote any of your learnings from the project through social media and through our other channels if we can. So do keep us informed with the things that you're doing, because it's really important for us to be able to say, hey, look, and try and promote your projects for you as well.
Yeah. And just to, Beth has just posted links to two, it kind of falls under the special interest groups. There are two groups. One is about the outpatients theme, and the other is about the improving cross-boundaries theme. You can use that group as well to be able to ask questions, get support, sort of be able to continue conversations outside of your project pages as well. And you can also use the other group spaces as well to be able to ask questions if it's something maybe specifically around co-production or whatnot. So do have a look at the group spaces on the website, and if not, you can use the links that Beth has shared. One of the thanks, Lisa. I'm just going to pick up, just in the interest of time, so we've got about just over 5 minutes left, is I'm going to pick up a couple questions that came up earlier around, one was around budgets and one was around timelines. Pete, you asked about what's the best way to kind of keep track, or is there a budget tracker? What we'll do is, what we're saying is, because between now and the end of the year, you're not actually formally required to submit a financial statement. You don't have to submit it every quarter. That being said, what has been really helpful for us at the end of the award is to be able to look at your, to be able to I see quite easily how you have spent based on your original budget. So if you use your original budget that you submitted for Q Exchange as your kind of main template, I suggest you could add columns to the spreadsheet. Maybe you might want to do that by quarter, and then you can actually track actual spend against your original budget. And that at least helps us to be able to then identify at the end, any kind of overspend or underspend based on what you originally submitted. If you do have any changes to your projects that impacts your budget by a significant amount, so say that you end up needing to cancel an event that you're planning to do, and then you have like a big 5K gap or something, do let us know. It's really helpful for us just to be able to keep track of this, and we can maybe discuss other ways to be able to fill that gap, or whatever the changes it might be. But yeah, so do use your original budget as kind of your template, and then feel free to add in kind of columns and stuff to be able to track spend. You might actually prefer to do it on a completely different spreadsheet, but at least at the end of the year, what we do need to know is what any changes to your original budget, and but definitely and any commentary around that as well. And do let us know if there are any significant changes. Don't wait till the end of the year. Let us know as and when it's happening. There was another question about if timelines change, what impact that has on. I think this is the question. It's about do the same deadlines apply for your project? Absolutely. What we would still like is at minimum a mid-year update on the website, and then a final update at the end of the year. If you have significant changes to your timelines, again, a bit similar to the budgets, whereby you decide that you're only going to do 12 of your 15 workshops or whatever it may be. One way to actually communicate that is to the community. You can actually explain what some of the decisions around things, around timelines, and you can post that in the update so that people know, because there is a timeline function on your project page. Again, if there are significant changes, do let us know. But we will be expecting a mid and final report within the year, just because that is the duration of the award itself. But again, it doesn't mean that your project has to end in December. It can extend to 2025. That's absolutely fine. But your money will only go as far as the end of the year. I hope that clarifies some of those questions. If anything is unclear, just again, let me know. You can email us at Q Exchange and we can hopefully answer any more questions and clarify things. So we've got just a couple minutes left, really. I guess if there are any final questions, to post them in the group chat. I guess one, just to really kind of sum up that this year we as a Q team are really looking forward to working with you. The evaluation SIG, there are the action learning sets. There are a number of different ways that we are providing kind of free support to help you through the year. And then there's also copious amount of resources, ways to connect and interact on the Q website, through Twitter, on the group spaces. So do make the most of that, and just remember that how you can support each other in this journey. Even if your projects are completely different in content, actually there are so many transferable learning, and I think that's one of the key messages that keeps coming up with improvement and learning. There's a lot of similar challenges, shared challenges, and learning despite what we're all doing. So do stay in touch with each other. Remember that you can connect with each other through the directory, through the online group spaces. Just talk to each other. We want you to connect. And if you have any questions, do email us at qexchange@health.org.uk or by Twitter. And if you want to sign up to any of the offers, just let us know and we will be in touch. Fab. Is there anything else from Louisa Beth?
No, nothing from me.
Nothing from me.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for participating. It's been really great to be able to kind of meet with you all virtually, and hopefully one day we'll be able to meet face to face in the near future. Yes, enjoy the rest of your week and all the best in your projects. Really excited to find out more about what you're all up to. So yeah, take care everyone and speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.